Hey guys, and welcome back to Culture Boys, a show where two guys just want to have a chat. I'm Nathan, and as always, I'm joined by Pepe. And this week, we are talking about something completely new. I don't know that anybody would expect this from us just yet, but I think it's quite an interesting topic. Lots of people trying to get into this. How you doing, Pepe?
Very well, Nathan. Very well. We've just come back off of a holiday
Yes.
together with amongst a couple other mates, friends of the show, Powered Up Couple, and what the fuck's his name?
He goes by many names.
He's just Sam Wilder now. He used to be
Sam Wilder now.
Yeah,
was Wilder Beast Plays,
Yeah.
was the Wilder Side, is now just Sam Wilder.
He's got so many names now, and it's just I'm forgetting them. But he's the food guy, and
Yeah.
But we had a nice little holiday, nice little chill, and during this holiday, we got into something.
Yeah.
Not drugs. it's D&D. Yay!
Hey.
A bit of backstory. Me and Nathan have never played D&D before. Matt from Powered Up Couple and Fliss, both of them, they're like D&D veterans, basically.
Yes, they're very experienced. They've played for a long time.
Yeah.
Sam played a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
So, and Sam played a bit of Baldur's Gate, so he's like familiar,
Yeah.
but not like as experienced as Matt and Fliss.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, mine and Pepe's first ever time, baby's first D&D.
Yeah. It's worth saying just from the get-go that obviously this being a D&D game for newbies like us,
Yes.
and obviously because it's on holiday as well, we don't want to spend the whole holiday. Bear in mind, we're out there for like a week or whatever. Lovely place in France, absolutely wonderful. San Roman, recommend it.
Yes.
But we were there for a week, and we didn't want the whole holiday taken up by a D&D thing, so we only made it a very short campaign. Again, Matt being the dungeon master, amazing dungeon master, helps us through a lot of things.
Yep.
Being absolutely clueless about D&D, like he helped us set up our characters, and like was just an overall great dungeon master. Like he was amazing, and obviously Fliss helps us as well. She obviously knew a lot of stuff,
Yes.
and that was written into the whole premise of the D&D as well. Like she was written as a veteran,
Whilst the rest of us were all just fresh new
Yeah,
people that had
exactly.
just hit the scene. It was all very well done.
Yeah.
Very accommodating. Like Pepe said, Matt gave us a lot of freedom as new players.
Mm-hmm.
He did accommodate for quite a lot. He also told us things
Mm-hmm.
that, some people might not have.
Yeah.
There were sometimes we're like in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing stuff and he would still turn around and be like, by the way, if you do this, this can happen. If you do that, that can happen. I feel like, sometimes you hear things about D&D and it's very intimidating. And I feel like you worry that you might get the dungeon master that's just going to be like, no, you're going to learn the same way everybody learned.
Yeah.
You're just going to go in the deep end. I'm not tell you anything. You're just going to have to play and make mistakes. You know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
I really appreciate that Matt had done it this way to ease us in.
Absolutely. It's like it's the nicest way to, because I don't think it's one of those where like if you threw a bunch of newbies in a deep end, it's like, oh, you got to learn the hard way. I don't think it would be as fun. And luckily, like having two people there who are very, very familiar with the game and like play it on a regular basis, it helps so much to be like, can I do this? And then it's like, you can do. And like it's not like we were asking questions that were like so often that it would feel like a stop and start kind of thing.
Yeah.
It'd be like, can I do this? And like Matt and Frizz would be like, you could do. And then it's like, well, okay, then I'm going to do it. And then, but like, it in the same way that it's respectful as well, though. We're not doing things that were absolutely, I hope not anyway, that was like absolutely throwing Matt's plans for the game out of whack completely.
It didn't feel like it was, but like having both of them there was also good because like whilst Matt could still be like moving stuff along, one of us could easily have leant over and been like, hey Fliss, like what does that mean? Or like, can I do this? Like, would that work? We had enough of him there to sort of sidebar every now and again and be like, so how's that work? Like, what about this, that? We learned quite a lot, and honestly, I had a lot of fun. We'll get into our characters, I suppose.
Yes, yeah. Again,
because that's also quite an important part.
This like bear in mind, like again, newbies, we don't know what the hell we're doing. So Matt helped us a lot with what kind of characters we wanted to be with this. Because like as a party as well, I feel like you'd want to cover a lot of bases. And I think were quite lucky in the fact that we naturally fell into those roles, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like, because, like, for example, I didn't go into the game knowing what I wanted to be at all. I had very little knowledge about the classes and what kind of like what exactly goes into making a character.
Yeah.
So I just naturally went and chose to be a druid wood elf. And like just casting spells and like changing into different creatures. I was like, you know what, that sounds quite cool. I'll go for that. On the other hand, Nathan went for
I became a blue dragonborn monk. However, I had made one character before because I've been in many discussions where people have said to me, "Oh yeah, we'll do a one-off campaign. I'll teach you the game. It'll be great." I've been told this by many different people for about 2 years now. So I made one character before that was also a dragonborn, but I think it was a dragonborn warrior.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not like too different from what I had.
Yeah.
But I think at least the stat rolls and the way I made it, because before the first one I made, I didn't have any help. I was just told to go onto like the Wizards of the Coast, like D&D website, and just follow the character creator.
Okay, yeah.
So I just, again, when you don't know, you just like pick a bunch of stuff, and then I sent it to a friend, and they were like, "Oh, interesting. Weird, you picked this, this, and this." And I was like, "Well,
you don't know anything." Like if you like, it's as if like you knew what you were doing with that, and it's like, no, this just sounds cool. I don't know if it's actually efficient or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I picked a bunch of conflicting stuff on the first character, but Matt helped us a lot with this. I believe we were in a call for like 2 or 3 hours at least.
Yeah, there's like, I think because with me and you at least, we were like literally refining our characters a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was that includes our like character backgrounds. Like literally, like both me and Nathan have our character sheets in front of us as well.
Yes.
Because bear in mind, we played this time of recording. We played this a week ago,
so it's fairly fresh.
It's fresh, but it's also like it's a week ago. I cannot remember every single thing about my character.
Yeah.
All I know is that I was a charlatan. I like obviously randomized everything. I was 103 years old. Bear in mind, for a wood elf druid, it is like that's actually quite young. That's just as an adult, basically.
Yeah.
I was also 5'6" and 345 pounds. So basically a ball.
Yeah, he was a heckin' chonker of a wood elf druid.
Yeah. So yeah, I was also gammon pink as well and had solid black eyes. So, but like giving off Kirby vibes, really. But
Yeah, you were like a weird demonic Kirby, whereas I'm over here.
Yeah,
like 5'10", 25, which for a Dragonborn is sort of like around adult age.
Yeah.
And then I'm blue. I'm only 200 pounds because when we did it before, I was also gonna end up just being a ball.
Yeah.
But we changed that, and then I went super weeb, and I have my Rinne Sharingan as my eyes.
Oh yeah, this is absolutely ridiculous.
Which is a detail that never actually really came up in the game.
No,
in the actual campaign itself, the one shot, but it was just something I had.
There's a lot of things that I think we establish in our character backgrounds and designs that never really came into the game itself.
No, it didn't.
One of my favorite ones is our languages that we chose.
Oh yeah,
because like we're allowed like to have like what was it 5 additional languages apart from common. I believe it was. Well, I've got 5 languages anyway here.
I've got 4.
Okay, it may depend on the race then, or like the class.
Yeah.
But my languages that I chose were Elvish, Druidic, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Celestial, Infernal, and Goblin. Because obviously want to go Goblin mode.
Yeah.
And Nathan, what languages did you choose with yours?
I had Draconic,
Yeah.
Deep Speech, Primordial, and Goblin.
Yeah, so besides speaking common, both me and Nathan, and I think most people around the table also chose Goblin apart from one
From one
person.
player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but it was like, oh yeah, we could all speak Goblin to each other and like keep her out of it.
And we never did.
We never spoke any of these other languages. Never did. And
I
then-
mean, like, can you imagine though? Like, my character was already like making people laugh
yeah.
from just being himself.
Yeah.
Could you imagine my character trying to speak Goblin on top of that? I don't think we would have kept our composure.
You went proper chaotic with your character voice there. I played mine quite neutral.
Whoa, I am chaotic neutral, so you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, what was I? end up being chaotic good, I feel.
Wow, that flipped the script considering how it played out.
We'll get into that in a bit, I guess. I feel like I was chaotic. Yeah, chaotic good. I was chaotic good.
Well, I mean, like for me, I use that as an exercise to practice, you know, some voice acting
Yeah.
and some acting, which granted for me wasn't too hard.
Mm-hmm.
I basically made a simpleton character.
Yeah.
You know, he's not very smart, but he's very strong.
Yeah. I feel like for any listeners out there right now, I feel like Nathan needs to give a demonstration of his voice. Also, we haven't actually said our names for this as well.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I am Lizardo.
Lizardo.
Lizard hyphen OH.
Oh.
So as in if you think of like Fist and the North Star, you've got Rao,
Mm-hmm.
Keno. Like,
Mm-hmm.
granted, that's the same person. But like that. That's what I was thinking with the name because you know he fights with his fists.
Are you Lizard O? Because I was calling you Lizardo the whole fucking time.
Well,
because I think I was going more for the weird Japanese way. Is it Lizardo? Like,
here's the magic of it. Everything is acceptable because
Yeah.
he's so simple.
yeah.
Lizardo, Lizardo.
Yeah.
Like people were calling me Lizzo.
I called you Lizard at one point. I just called you Lizard.
Yeah. Like my character was just being called all sorts of things, but
Yeah.
he's a simpleton, so he liked it.
Yeah, he is fine with it. My character, on the other hand, went straight in. My name is Joe Mama, and every time someone tried to call me Joe Mama, my instinct was be that's Mr. Mama to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was I enjoyed doing that.
I'm pretty sure though, as Lizardo, I rarely ever called you by your name. I'm pretty sure I was always just like, "Oh, mate, yeah, mate, you're wicked, mate."
I don't think you ever actually referred to anyone by their names. I think you literally just went, "Hey, mate." I don't think you actually. Yeah.
I think I referred to a couple of characters
Yeah.
in one-on-one
Yeah.
by their names. I think the only person I ever really did, and it was a nickname, was Gabe.
Yeah.
Because Lizardo and Gabe became best friends like instantly.
Yeah. Sam's character, that is Gabe. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Sam's character. Fliss's character Ash, when Lizardo and Ash were on guard duty together afterwards, you know, like on the watch. I'm pretty sure I referred to Ash's name.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, pretty much Lizardo would just walk around this very like voice cracked, shrill, kind of happy-go-lucky, like simpleton voice
Yeah.
with like a slight hint. Well, I wouldn't say hint. It leaned heavier towards like a Cockney sounding kind of guy.
It was like if like Dick Van Dyke was actually a teenager and had voice cracks almost 24/7 and was also a little bit incredibly stupid.
Yeah. He was oblivious to everything. But that's what made it funny is like a lot of the serious situations in the campaign, everyone's discussing stuff and I'm just sort of there.
Yeah.
Like, oh mate, oh my god, I can't believe it.
It would really break up some tension, I'll tell you that.
I mean, I really did. Like, there was one serious moment you probably remember. You remember we got into a town and we found a magical artifact that you could speak to a person.
Yeah, I know the exact point. Yeah.
And there was a whole thing of Pepe and Sam fighting over this thing
Mm-hmm.
and some important information. And as the story moves on, I ask Matt if I can just take the artifact from Pepe without him like realizing it. I rolled for it, and Matt was like, "Yeah, okay, cool. You have it now." And in the background, as everyone is arguing over like deception, actions, I'm literally just in the background like, "Hello, little man. Can you hear me? Are you okay? I'm Lizardo."
It's basically the artifact was a guy basically calling for help. And you went full in like the man is trapped inside the jewel, basically.
Yes. I would do stuff like that. Like the entire campaign was my character just doing things like that,
Yeah.
which I found hilarious.
There's so many things that I feel like we could have done in the whole campaign, which just went completely unnoticed.
Yeah.
Like, there's at one point as well where I think my character can speak to trees. I think I've got like a. Where is it?
Yeah, you can speak to plants.
I can speak to plants because I have that. Yeah, where's the ability?
I don't think you actually did that much.
I didn't do it once. Sam had the same thing and kept on trying to do it. And I think he spoke to one potted plant at one point.
Yeah, a potted plant inside the tavern,
Yeah.
of which
At literally the first seed, yeah.
yeah, we started there, and I think even in game we were there for like 3 hours.
You literally killed the plant by pouring beer into it.
Yeah.
Like that was one thing. Like, so this plant was talking to us, giving us like things, and it was like,
Yeah, the plant was giving us information. Sam watered it so that it could tell us more. And Lizardo, being a simpleton, was like, "Oh, it's a new friend, and we're in a bar, so I'm gonna give him some beer. Hello, friend, have some beer. Join the merriment," and then killed him or it.
Because there's at one point where I think we started our quest, and I think there were trees that were kind of wilting and like yellowing, like because the world tree was dying. I think that's what it was, and I had the opportunity, like, just to talk to these trees. And I think Matt was probably anticipating me to do that.
Yeah.
And like, I think there was even the prompt that, oh, Joe Mama, my character, notices this. And I didn't do shit about it. And I was like, yep, cool. Didn't ask anything. Didn't really feel like I needed to ask anything. So it was like, yep, okay, cool. Let's glance it over. Feels like, you know it, like you do like a special dialogue in a game.
Yep.
Where there's the option to do it, and it's like, oh, you can find information,
and you skip all of it.
I just skipped all of that. Was me, basically.
Pretty much. You're like, oh, there's an important character over there. They're the quest giver, and you just go, I'm leaving, bye.
Yeah,
and you never do that quest line.
Don't need that. I think I only decided to do certain things at like I feel like I got into it a lot more towards the end of the campaign in terms of using my powers. Like, bear in mind, I use my powers like every now and then. Like, I think latter half more so than the first half, I'd say.
I definitely also had more abilities, but I pretty much just smashed things with my fist.
Yeah.
I didn't need to do anything else. Like, every time we got into a fight and it was my turn, it was just like, cool, use up a key point, do unrelenting blow or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
And then smash. Like, pretty much, like, our first encounter, our first fight, I'm like, I start off further away from everyone.
Yeah.
In the dark. So I'm already at a disadvantage because I can't see in the dark.
There were like 4 zombies as well. So
yeah, everyone's like fighting these zombies. And as soon as I can finally do stuff, because of poor RNG, so low rolls, by the end of it, I've killed 2 of the zombies by myself.
Yeah.
Everyone has like had to band together to kill zombies, and I've just got like come along and pummeled them with my fists and just be like, oh, you guys all right? I did it.
Yeah. You're like the powerhouse of our team, basically. Like,
oh, for sure.
Like, I think I actually wanted to run away, but I ended up staying with you guys. Like, that's one thing. I was so tempted to just turn into a crab and just scuttle away, but I was like, ugh.
I think that would have been an interesting thing to do.
Yeah, it wouldn't have really helped anyone out though. So it was like, and plus my character is chaotic good. So
yeah,
like it's not really within my character. Like, even though he is technically a coward, he still went in basically and did stuff. And like I ended up turning into a bear basically. Bear in mind, my 5 animals I could turn into were a badger, a brown bear, a giant toad, a crab, and a giant octopus. I used 3 of those out of the 5. Only because, like, well, one of them was unintentional as well. We'll get into that a bit
Yeah.
later. But
Oh god, that was funny.
but like, I just turned into a bear and like kind of just like attack some zombies basically. But I had to talk about the fact that my rolls in that whole game were impeccable.
Oh my god.
Like
Oh my god, they were ridiculous.
I was consistently getting nat 20s, like consistently at one point.
My guy was rolling nat 20s like they were fucking. They're not supposed to be like a
Yeah.
rare fucking occurrence. Pepe was just doing it constantly, like, oh, whatever.
I was rolling nat 20s more often than ever. Like it was the most common number my dice landed on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was that was a good dice, yeah.
It got to one point where I wanted to roll against Pepe, but I started second guessing my choice because I was like, he's just gonna roll a nat 20, I'm gonna get fucked.
And something that shouldn't really happen because it's all random.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that I was consistently rolling them that is like the only one time that I didn't roll it was the time that kind of screwed me over in terms of
That helped a lot though. That also made for an interesting plot line.
yeah. It did, yeah. So but like majority of the time, like I think I had a pretty decent moveset. I think I didn't really heal too much from what I remember, like consistently considering.
No, we didn't.
I think well,
We didn't actually really need to heal until like towards the end of the one shot in the boss fight. Really.
yeah. And like I mean, the first time we encountered zombies, well, the only it is the first time we encountered zombies. We got into a fight with them, and I think there was one person that healed, and I think because
Yeah.
yeah, there's only one thing because I think Sam took some damage and I think someone healed him. But that was the only time I think that happened. I think it's the main boss fight where healing really needed to come into it.
It's funny when you think about it because we really only had 2 fights.
We did.
We had the first encounter and then like boss fight.
We have to consider as well that because this is like you said, a one-shot campaign, only lasts about 5 hours. I think we started roughly about 12-ish, I think, and it got to 4:30.
I believe we played for a total of 6.5 hours though.
We finished roughly after 5. Bear in mind we had a break as well. It's a short break. Like we were playing for quite a bit.
Mm.
But like I think it was one of those ones where I think it was coming towards the end of like you can kind of tell we were reaching the our end goal.
Yeah.
And I think I think it was like, oh, okay, maybe we should like kind of get dinner soon. And I think like there's an opportunity to fight more zombies at one point because
Oh yeah, that was when we got to
when we got to the world
the
tree,
town.
yeah, and like there was the bit before the final boss.
Everyone else had voted to stealth, and I wanted to smash the door down.
Yeah, there were 8 zombies basically.
Yeah,
And considering the amount of trouble we went to against 4 zombies, it was like, and considering we stealth past 30 zombies literally about 30 minutes before.
we only could see 8 zombies because we get to the town and we were told there's like a hole in the wall,
Yeah.
like a crack that we can kind of look through.
Yeah.
And whoever it was that rolled well enough could only see 8 of them.
Yeah.
You all chose to stealth,
Past them, yeah.
and Lizardo wanted to just punch the wall down, of which I reckon I could have easily done.
Yeah, but then it would have ruined the stealth. And like considering like when we got to the town, there were 30 zombies, so we weren't going to fight them. Basically, we'd be fucked.
No.
So then we took a couple routes, went to a shop. Nathan spoke to a little man in the jewel, and that guy got killed because he got turned into an undead.
Yeah.
And then then we got to that just before the boss. There was 8 zombies there. We snuck past them, and that's when the final boss fight happened, basically. And that was very much towards the end at that point. Yeah. what else happened? I think then should we get to the kind of twist bit, I guess? Because
So there was a lot. It felt like there was a lot of twists at the end. Like
yeah.
Matt managed to work in quite a lot of things. Right at the end.
Yeah. But we should actually set up this, like, what actually happened in the story. What, like, I feel like we're saying things, but we didn't actually give a rundown of the story.
I mean, like I was about to say, as a group of Brits on holiday,
Yeah.
a lot of the NPCs are references to home.
Yeah.
So we were sent on a mission by Joris Bonson
Yeah.
to go to, I don't even remember what the town was called, but go to this town, some weird stuff's happening, and go and figure it out.
Yeah.
Don't engage, just go and figure it out, come back and tell him. What we didn't know was we were being set up. And we get to the world tree. Inside the tree is like almost like a wizard's setup, like a wizard's lab. And who do we find in there but Sishi Runak?
Yeah. Like, and considering Sishi Runak was supposed to be the lord of the realm, I guess, is one of the things.
I don't know if he was the lord of the realm or if he was just the
No, because we got sent on the quest to do by order of Sishi Runak. So it turned out that Sishi Runak was actually the
he's the final boss, and he's basically finding adventurers like us to turn into zombies.
Yeah. But not only that, we walk in there, Sishi Runak's there, and then apparently I knew Sishi Runak.
Yes.
And I betrayed the group.
Yep.
Yay! So it ended up being a 4v2, basically.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing was that Sishi Runak basically put a spell on Joe Mama. And
what a sentence.
And I was basically being manipulated to fight the group, basically.
Yes.
Because my backstory kind of allowed for it as well.
But at the time, we didn't know that.
You didn't know that at all. So that was the twist in that final fight, basically. So it turned out being Fliss's character Ash going up against Sishi, and then I think the three of you were up against me, and then you ran away to fight Sishi as well.
Yeah.
And then it was me with Sam and our other player.
Well, like, the reason I didn't stay to fight you was because our wonderful DM Matt had let us know that if you are in an animal form, all we're doing is depleting the animal form's health, and then you go back to normal.
And then I can go back into another animal as well. So
exactly. So if we all don't roll well enough,
yeah,
then I will smash you out of animal form. I will punch you out of animal form. But if the others don't roll well enough, we still have to deal with you.
And bear in mind, at that point, I turned into a giant toad with 39 HP.
Yeah, which I reckon because of my skills, I could have taken down quite a lot of your health.
Arguably, you could have. This is one thing, you absolutely could have. But then it depends on the RNG.
Yeah.
And
I have awful RNG.
Yeah.
I was rolling low like most of the game.
In terms of RNG, me and you were like polar opposites at that point.
Oh, yeah, complete polar opposites. Everyone else is somewhere in between.
Yeah.
But I could always guarantee Pepe rolls high, I roll low.
Yeah. And the only time I rolled low was when our other player decided to use, I can't remember what the spell was.
I can't remember what it was, but it was basically,
I think it was like, it basically made me turn into another animal form.
The spell basically had mind controlled Pepe, convinced him that convinced Joe Mama that they wanted to transform into a crab.
Yeah, I chose the crab as... bear in mind, Nathan, we recorded our pitches episode about martial arts forms.
Yeah.
Very roughly the same time that we were choosing character sheets. And I was very much in crab mode because I wanted to go for the meme. So out of all my choices, I wanted a crab option because it sounds like, oh, it's mean, and plus I can scuttle away quite easily.
Yeah.
This became my undoing
Yes.
because I got turned into a crab. And everyone realized that they don't need to fight me because I'm going to be more of a nuisance. I become much less of a nuisance in crab form.
Pepe can basically do no damage, has no HP, and as long as we didn't hit him,
Yeah.
we didn't have to deal with him.
Yeah. So I was like being a massive nuisance and like poisoning people with my giant toad.
Yeah.
Or like trying to anyway. And then this happened, and I basically became absolutely fucking useless to Sishi Runak.
Yeah, you were basically like pinching at like ankles.
Yeah. And even then, every time I tried to pinch, it would be like, oh, it failed.
Yeah.
So the time where my RNG really, really needed to be good so I could actually do stuff, it failed me. So that was a thing. But in the end, the group defeated Sishi Runak.
Yes.
Because he was defeated, the spell that Sishi put on Joe Mama disappeared, and I basically had no recollection of trying to betray people. I was a good guy, and then Nathan comes along and...
Well, Lizardo, Lizardo doesn't know that.
Yeah.
All Lizardo knows is that Joe Mama betrayed us and hurt his friends.
Yeah.
So Lizardo walked over and suplexed him.
Yes. Luckily, I survived.
Yeah, you did actually.
I did survive. Bear in mind, again, I'm 345 pounds. So...
But Lizardo, I forget where that is on the sheet.
It's at the top, right next to like the size and stuff like that, underneath your subclass.
I remember Lizardo could like lift like 400 something pounds.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, that's what it ended up being. So I was like, surely he's not doing this because he can't. And it was like, yep, he can do this. I was like, fuck's sake, okay. And again, RNG failed me, and then you came and fucking suplexed me.
Oh yeah, there it is. I can push, drag, and lift 480 pounds.
Yeah, so well over Joe Mama's weight.
That was like one of the last actual actions I did in the whole game as well, was just walk up, pick up this ball and suplex
it. That happened. So Sishi's defeated. Joe Mama is freed of his spell, although it was kind of mildly canon that he got amnesia and forgot everything from that because of the suplex. And then the nation is freed of the spell, that all the undead return to normal.
Yes.
And yeah.
There was lots of resolutions for a lot of characters.
Yeah, a lot there were, weren't there? Yeah.
Because like Matt wrapped it up so that Fliss's character Ash, who was the experienced player and hunter, adventurer, they got most of their previous party members who were zombies and now turned back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
So Ash got some resolution. Our other player was looking for a rune of Inferno or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And they ended up getting that as soon as Sishi Runak was killed.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of a sudden, like, we defeat him and then some, like, fire starts swirling around and then, like, they absorb it. And most of us were convinced, like, oh, crap, there's another boss fight coming. Yeah. Like, we're going to have to kill one of our party members.
Yeah.
Luckily, no, that didn't happen. And then, Joe Mama is a mild amnesiac now.
Remembers nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. And Sam's character, Gabe, and my character, Lizardo, decide to party together. Well, sort of. It's left ambiguous, but, like, I know the headcanon. But
like it's like one of those movies at the end where they just do a little, like a freeze frame for each character.
Yeah.
It's like Lizardo and Gabe became best friends and traveled the world together.
Pretty much, because Gabe invites Lizardo to travel with him to do all of Gabe's stuff, and Lizardo just wants to fight. So he's all about the fight.
I want to say as well, bear in mind the way this campaign came to an end. My intention at the start of it was never actually to betray you at all. I pulled Matt aside halfway through the campaign and was like, this actually fits in with my character a lot to actually do this kind of thing, because of like my backstory is my mentor is rotting in prison somewhere. And there was like kind of form for my character to do a bunch of this stuff.
Yeah. There was a lot of things about your character I remember from the initial call of like doing character sheets that like never really came up until then.
Yeah.
And had you not done that, might not have ever happened.
And there's like documents of forgery and stuff like that. So like there was two scenarios basically. The scenario we ended up on was the fact that like the letter that I received was actually like had a curse on it. And that's what basically inflicted my mind. So in the end, that was one resolution, which was like, oh, he's freed now from the spell, and he actually is a party member of you guys. The other option would have been, if you guys killed me, it would have been that I forged the document myself to be a hindrance to you guys and actually sabotage your thing, because I'm an expert in forgery. And it would have been that Sushi didn't actually put a spell on me. He's actually my mentor, and we're just, it's like basically I'm his disciple basically, and that would have been the thing. So there's two different endings that would have happened basically. If you killed me, that would have been that ending.
You could have died. Everyone stopped me from trying to kill you.
Yeah, because they were convinced that I could be freed, and I'm just there shit talking the whole time, calling people cowards.
I just wanted to kill Pepe.
Yeah, well, that was established from making our characters basically. Nathan was consistently threatening that he was going to kill me.
Yeah.
Like weeks before this campaign started.
And weeks before we even established in our own minds how our characters would play out.
Yeah.
I was like, cool, I just want to be a blue dragon man. Yeah. And then Matt said, oh, you've got lightning breath.
Yeah,
and that was fucking shoot this off at Pepe just randomly. I'm just going to kill him with it.
Because Nathan just wants to troll me uncontrollably. It's just a natural thing that he resorts to. But like, all in, like, overall, as two guys that have never played D&D before, it's like, it was such a freaking cool experience as well. Like,
yeah, it was.
Like, I mean, bear in mind, this is our first game, and then like we had a lot of help from Matt. So I feel like this is one of the things that if you play more D&D and actually have like the knowledge of how you want to set up your character and what the best way is to do it, I imagine like imagine joining like a year-long campaign. I know like D&D campaigns can go on for years and years.
Yeah.
And it's finding the time to jump on it. I know not everyone these days has the time. It is a lot, like, it depends on how much life stuff you have going on. But like to join a campaign like that, it feels like such a great group activity as well.
It definitely does. And I know basically all of us like noobs had walked away like, oh my God, that was amazing. I gotta do that again. I do fully understand though that we had a great time because we had Matt accommodating for us so much.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he did it perfectly because, like, you know, ultimately, when you're in a position like that as one of our friends who loves this game, probably wants us to do more of this with them, you want to make it the best experience for them as you can, because then that's just going to get them hooked, right? So, like, he's played his hand, like, perfectly in that sense.
Yeah.
But it's honestly, I want to play more and I would like to experience it differently because we did theater of the mind.
Yes.
Is what Matt and Fliss kept saying. So, like, we imagined everything. Matt would have to tell us little details, and sometimes we would need to use, like, a physical whatever, you know, like dice to be like, this is your positioning. So I would kind of like to see what D&D would be like if you had, like, the maps and other stuff, you know, like some of the other things people prepare for campaigns and stuff. I think it'd be interesting to see how other people do it.
Yeah. It's one of those, like, coming away from this, you want to experience it more, but you want to experience it in a different way at that point. You want to be like, what else does this game have to offer? And like you said, like, out of the theater of the mind, actually doing it with like a physical set or something, maybe it's different.
I would also honestly like to experience more as our characters, maybe in a longer, more grandiose story.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot that we left out, and I think there's more dynamic that can come from the way your character is versus the way my character is, interconnecting like storylines and things. Like, I think it would be interesting to just, I mean, it's playing characters, isn't it? So I think it would just be interesting to see how, like, in the long term, Joe Mama and Lizardo end up interacting with each other.
Considering our two characters very rarely interacted as well, apart from the duel thing.
Yeah.
Like, think about like, because like even when the first watch happened, like when the first 4 zombies turned up, I was with Sam's character Gabe for the watch,
Yeah.
and then
I was with Ash.
after that, like, because you and Gabe basically spent a lot of the time doing the buddy thing.
Yeah, pretty much. We were a duo.
And at that point, that's when my character's backstory kicked in, and that's where a lot of like you saw a lot of me trying to get people to turn against each other. So I was actively antagonizing Gabe and Ash, like, and actually causing like rifts between them.
See, I feel like if it went on longer or like we had more interaction, I don't actually think Joe Mama and Lizard O would have much to talk about.
I don't think
because if you're like puppeting stuff in the background and he's just too simple to listen to you,
yeah,
there's like not much interaction, I feel like.
but like in another scenario where, like you said, Joe Mama is now freed from this curse.
Yeah, I suppose.
It cracks me up each time. Also, I just want to throw in as well, another thing is that when I first originally started making this character, he wasn't
God.
called Joe Mama, he was called D's Nuts.
Yeah.
And D's Nuts was actually going to be, I don't think it ever came to fruition at all, but I think if it was the bad ending, it would have been revealed that Joe Mama wasn't his actual name. It would have been D's Nuts. So, but that was another thing. But like if we did say if it was like a sequel to this one shot, and we did use these same characters, you'd have Joe Mama not being manipulated anymore.
True.
And you would have a character that is a little bit different to how he's. I mean, bear in mind, character traits still stay the same. He's still going to be that chaotic good, slightly cowardice, charlatan who flirts with people, ends up sleeping with the barkeep. But
yeah, that was a thing that happened.
It was, yeah. I got extra ale out of it, so.
I mean, true. I got us extra ale that night just for being friendly.
Yeah. But yeah, it was one of those things like I would happily easily do this again. Honestly, like I think my character sheet may need a little tweaking. I think there's some spells I'm not exactly feel like I'm getting the most out of with it, because I think some of my animal changes were quite good as well, but not all of them got used, and I think I could be more efficient in certain places.
Fair. I quite like Lizardo as he is.
Yeah.
I think I would have been more chaotic had I gone the other route, because one detail we did miss out is Matt decided that we would start from level 5 instead of just fresh.
Yes. Yeah.
So we had like our subclass, and I could have gone and become the avatar.
Yeah.
I could have used elements, and I think Lizardo may not have been so simple if I was the avatar, and I would have been more chaotic, because if we're in a forest and I can just shoot off fireballs, I think I would have ended up just burning the forest down.
Which is a thing that could happen.
Yes.
And
and also a thing that I probably definitely would do.
Yeah, it is completely but this is completely in the realm of possibility. But I think the thing is as well, because Matt's obviously running the campaign. Like, I ran a few things past him regarding the deception stuff, and you know for a fact that I think if we did try and push anything too far,
yeah, he would be like, no,
which would derail the campaign. I think he'd be like, let's not do that because it complicates things. And, like, in the nicest way, I think. I feel like Matt did give us a lot of leniency at the same time with that, and I think
we had far more freedom than you would imagine.
Yeah. And I think that's I don't know too much about DMs and stuff, but I know that some people can be really strict on it, and then some people that can adapt and be like, oh, these players want to go this way. I'll help them do that, and I'll actually guide this thing myself as well. Which is, I think, props to Matt and everything that he did as a dungeon master. I think he did a really good job, and it shows that he's been doing this for years.
It does.
So I think if anything comes from this, I think just giving props to him in terms of helping us out and everything. I'm really grateful.
Yeah. Again, it was the best way for us to learn.
Yeah.
Because we had enough freedom to explore and mess around, but also a guiding hand to be like, don't stray too far from the path.
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't either, because half of the group playing were new, so we didn't know how much we could or couldn't do anyway.
Mm.
So I feel like we were being a bit cautious already.
Yeah. I think like over time, and like this is one thing as well. This is like a bit of a fault on me a little bit, is the fact that I went into this like at the start of the game forgetting how much I actually put in detail in my character, and again I feel like a lot of it was lost at the start because I forgot a lot of it. So like I think that's one thing, doing this kind of thing consistently. If it wasn't a one shot, I'd probably use my character's strengths a lot more than like and actually get a lot more use out of it. But going back, I'd 100% do it. And I want to say like shout out to Fliss as well, because she was a massive help. Like both of them, honestly.
Yeah, powered up couple made all of this like possible.
Yeah, really did. And
without either of them, we wouldn't have even gotten this far.
No, absolutely. I don't think it even would have been an attempt. I think like having these two on side was just such a massive help, and it made it so fun as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you want to say anything else about this before we wrap this up, Nathan? Anything else about D&D or experiences, characters?
I would say if you are like us and you were scared or you don't know, I would say try and see if you've got a friend who's like a little more experienced in the game, willing to do a one shot with you. Because I actually had so much fun. There are a lot of details and there are a lot of things to pick up. But now that I have sort of dipped my toes into it, I'm kind of like, I'm here for it, you know?
Absolutely. I think it like I will say honestly, it does help having a person there to help guide you with it. That's my takeaway from it. I think if we tried this without knowing the full extent of D&D and going into this very blind, if you had no experience, I think it would honestly be more of a struggle. But like that's my honest opinion. However, like you said, I had so much fun with this, and if there is a way to get into it, I think, like we said, like finding someone who knows a bit about it, and even asking them questions. Like I imagine if there's a running campaign that another person has, I'm sure they'd let you sit on it and get an idea of what's going on. Like it's all about asking questions with this, and it is a lot to take in, but it is so much fun at the same time.
It is amazing. It was so funny. I mean, granted, it was probably going to be quite a laugh anyway because we were with our group of friends that we're all very familiar with.
Yeah.
You know, it might be different if you're with some strangers or maybe people you're not so familiar with. But either way, like, if you've been curious, go and give it a go.
Absolutely, yeah. Just have a look and see if there's anything you can help you get into it, I guess. But honestly, guys, thank you for listening. Have you played D&D? Are you a newbie? Are you looking to get into it? Please let us know in the comments. And remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell button for future Cultured Boys videos. Hit the links in our bio description. We have links to our podcast and our X there. And we'll see you next time for another Cultured Boys episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.